We're back from a 10-day trip and we're checking on our worms. Let's see, I think these are some of the older ones. Do you see any pupae in there? No, not this one. Before we left on our trip, we just took a bunch of oats and literally just sprinkled them over top the worms. It's just one layer like that is enough for several days. I also gave them each some shredded carrots before we left as well, and because you're supposed to feed them a substrate of oats and some kind of vegetable. The reason we like to use carrots is because they eat all of it. We came back and there was no rotting at all. It didn't smell bad, just a normally functioning farm. Let's check on these ones. And there are some pupae in here. I see one right there, one here, there. There's quite a few in here. Now, we could just take them out by hand, but we're going to go through the process recommended in the book just because it's our first time and we want to see how it works. Up here is your harvest area, and if you open it up, there is either, you're going to see either, depending on what you have there at the time, you're going to see either this harvest plate or this pupae harvesting bowl. What we need right now is the bowl, so make sure that's on top. You can take the harvesting plate and you can put it aside. Next, we're going to put the lid back on the harvesting area, take off this outer lid, and you'll see a nice little strainer on top. Now, the idea is that the worms and the debris will all go through this strainer, and the pupae won't, and you'll be left with only pupae at the top. This little button on the side of the hive will vibrate the strainer so that the mealworms will be encouraged to go through the holes. The pupae can't move, so they won't be trying to get away from this vibrating. Let's give it a try. So you're going to pour the entire contents of the tray that has pupae in it onto the harvesting area. We haven't cleaned it in a while, so there's quite a bit of frass. Alright, that's everything. That's everyone. And then I'm going to vibrate it a little bit. It's recommended in the manual to do it in a pulsing manner, on and off, on and off. And they are going through. There are a lot less worms than there were to begin with. And all the worms and the frass is going through into the harvesting tray below. You don't have to worry too much about them bumping up against each other and vibrating too much because they're really durable. Think these guys are supposed to live underground surrounded by a bunch of dirt, so they're pretty resilient. Shaking them doesn't seem to hurt them at all. So what it says in the manual is push the harvest button several times, check in between whether the materials have gone through. Since we're filming, we had this lid open. You're actually supposed to leave it shut because the worms can bounce up and fall out of your colony or fly in your face. And you don't want, worms crawling around your house that are going to grow into beetles and So now you can see there's a lot less worms in there. They're all going through the holes. What I'm not sure about is, I guess the holes are the maximum size of an adult mealworm. So you're not going to have any left over eventually, because once they get to a certain size, they pupate. So there's no chance that there's going to be a worm that's too fat to go through those holes, because it would have pupated already. Now you can see that we're left with about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pupae. And they're going to become beetles later on.